Dean Kovacevic, President Hamilton, faculty, alumni, members of the Tandon Board of Overseers, honored guests, parents, families, and degree candidates, the Class of 2020 virtual celebration of the New York University Tandon School of Engineering are hereby convened. Throughout the ceremony, graduates' names will scroll across the screen, honoring the completion of their coursework and earning bachelor and master's degrees. Please welcome New York University's President, Andrew Hamilton.
Hello, I'm Andrew Hamilton, President of NYU, and I am delighted to say a few words to the outstanding Tandon School of Engineering Class of 2020. Class of 2020, I know that this is not the way we hope to celebrate this milestone in your lives. But although our format today is virtual, our pride in you could not be more real. The pandemic in no way diminishes your spectacular achievements, including prestigious awards and fellowships at both undergraduate and graduate levels. Each of you has succeeded at a demanding course of study at a school of engineering that continues to skyrocket up the rankings. But even beyond academics, I am deeply proud of the Tandon community. This past semester has been filled with challenges, and you have met them with forbearance and ingenuity. It's been heartwarming to see the many ways Tandon has leapt to aid in the crisis. Whether it's designing improvements to face shields and ventilator systems, winning rapid response grants from the National Science Foundation, or sewing face masks and other supplies. Class of 2020, although you are graduating at an uncertain time, the same qualities that led you to choose NYU Tandon as your academic home, those same qualities will help you make a difference in the world as alumni. You share with your peers a drive to improve the way things work, a passion for solving problems and an entrepreneurial spirit. The world needs your talents more than ever now as it begins the task of rebuilding and reimagining the future. I can't wait to see the ways you find to make an impact for the better. So on behalf of the entire NYU community, Class of 2020, warmest congratulations to you all and our very best wishes.
Please welcome Chairperson of the New York University Tandon School of Engineering Board of Overseers, Chandrika Tandon.
Commencement is a time I look forward to all year. It's a time where I feel awe, I feel hope, I feel excitement, and I feel a sense of great pride. And this feeling is shared by all the leadership of the university, my fellow trustees, my fellow board members. We feel that we are sending out 1,000 points of light out into the planet, and that these points of light are going to shine so bright, blaze many trails, and collectively and individually make everything around us better. Today, as I'm talking to you, I feel that so palpably inside. But I also know this is a surreal time in a way, because I'm talking to you from the lens of camera, and this is not what any of us intended. The world has gone through a seismic shift, and we're still in the middle of it. We're just in the beginning of it, really. And this is causing anxiety, fear because of the unknown. We don't really know how things are going to shake out. The rules that we understood are no longer valid. I know the last few weeks and months have been an incredible challenge for you. And I'm so proud of the way you've handled this with grace, with confidence, and have made such extraordinary transitions in such a short, condensed period of time. And at this moment, I really want to recognize the families, the parents, the enormity of the sacrifices that most people have had to make to send you here and to be part of this journey with you through your trials and tribulations and your joys. Now, while we are in these unprecedented times, I can't help thinking that this group of students is probably the best equipped to deal with what is to come. Why do I say that? You have been through 4 years at one of the very best engineering schools in the world. And you have built up a reservoir of immense technical proficiencies, but you've also learned critical thinking skills. You have acquired a global perspective, and you've honed your consciousness about society and community. Because the mission of the school is to figure out how to harness technology in the service of society. And society is more in need of you than ever. Technology is going to be the centerpiece of how many things are handled in society. Communications, community, and commerce. Rules, the way we knew that, are going to be rewritten. The social order is going to have a different form. The world that we knew is definitely not going to be what's going to exist a few years from now. And in fact, the world that you knew a few years ago may not be the world that exists. But that all points to opportunity for those that are skilled and have a base of technology and have a critical thinking ability in terms of what society is about. You will be the architects shaping this new set of frontiers. But that means you're going to have to ask big questions. The small questions won't do. You're going to have to ask big questions about the world, about the whys and the whats and the whether there's a better approach. NYU, the NYU Tandon School, and the whole community is yours, is your home, your DNA. I know I will be watching your journey with great anticipation and great pride. Godspeed, and let your light shine.
Please welcome New York University Class of 2020 Virtual Celebration Speaker, retired National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and National Weather Service meteorologist, Joan Van On, Class of 1976.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Dean Yelena, for inviting me to be a commencement speaker for the NYU Tandon Class of 2020. I am truly honored. Congratulations to the Class of 2020 and to their families and friends. You've all put in a lot of hard work to reach this first step toward fulfilling your career aspirations, and you must be feeling a real sense of pride and satisfaction. I am sorry that because of the pandemic, you're not able to participate in the live commencement ceremony that you had planned on today. I recall my commencement ceremony in 1976 with fond memories, and I hope that you will get the opportunity to have your live ceremony when this pandemic has ended. The pandemic has certainly interrupted all of our lives in many ways. You must be frustrated and disappointed with the uncertainty as to when you will be able to move on with your plans for grad school or for entering the workforce. Unfortunately, there are no guarantees in life. Roadblocks will almost certainly occur at some point in our personal and professional lives. When this happens, what is important is to be able to adapt, to persevere, and to be open to make the necessary changes to continue moving forward. I would like to tell you about some of the roadblocks in my career in meteorology that I had to overcome. I began work in the National Weather Service in the Aviation Weather Branch back in 1980, when there were very few women in operational meteorology. Most of my coworkers were men who got their training in the Air Force or Navy. I was only working for a few months when I was asked to audition for a spot as a backup meteorologist on the AM weather television program, produced by NOAA and Maryland Public Television. When I spoke to my supervisor about the opportunity, he told me to go ahead and audition, but he didn't hold out much hope for me. He thought I was too quiet, I had a New York accent, for example, showers and thunderstorms, and that since most of the viewers were airline pilots or mariners, who at that time were mostly men, they would not be receptive to being briefed by a woman. Well, since presenting weather on TV was a dream of mine, I decided to go forward with the audition despite his discouragement, and to my delight, I was accepted. Initially, viewers did respond with negative comments that echoed those of my supervisor. Although this was disheartening, rather than give up, I learned to soften my New York accent and how to present a professional appearance for TV. But most importantly, I strove to present accurate weather information in a clear and precise manner. In a short time, viewer comments became more favorable, and when a permanent slot opened up, I was offered the job and gladly accepted. I had reached one of my career goals, and I was lucky to hold that position for 11 wonderful years. Then one day the rug was pulled out from under my feet. I received news that Maryland Public TV would no longer support the program, and within 2 weeks, I found myself working behind a desk at National Weather Service headquarters with no real path forward. It was certainly not where I wanted to be, but at least I still had a job in the field I loved. A few months later, I was presented with an opportunity to work as a backup meteorologist for a network TV station in Washington, D.C. In order to accept the position, I had to resign from the National Weather Service. Now, this was a really hard decision to make. I had job security and good retirement benefits with my government job, while a job in the network news industry had no such guarantees. But I decided to take the chance so I could return to what I loved doing. Things went well for a while. I was getting airtime, and I also worked on the content for the station's weather webpage. Then that darn rug was pulled out from under me again. The grant that I was working under was reallocated to another effort, and I was let go. For the first time in my life, I was unemployed. I tried unsuccessfully to get back into the National Weather Service. Jobs were scarce at that time. I spent the next year and a half working part-time as a substitute teacher, which, by the way, is not an easy job. I was finally offered a position as a contractor to work in the National Weather Service Ocean Prediction Center. I had to take a cut in pay, but I didn't care. I was glad that I'd be working as a meteorologist again. And interestingly enough, the work I was hired to do was a follow-on to my master's thesis. The work was fascinating, and my evaluation of the use of QuickScat data in the forecast process culminated in a peer-reviewed paper in the American Meteorological Society Journal of Weather and Forecasting. Subsequently, I was able to get another government position in the National Weather Service. Again, I had to start at a lower pay grade, but I was able to recover my pension and my benefits and work my way back up the ladder to retire as a GS-13. So, in this uncertain time, I would like to share with you what my experience has taught me. First, keep your faith and stay true to your values. Be honest. Earn your success by hard work and perseverance. Second, try to be balanced. If you want a family and a career, it won't always be easy, but you can make it work. Have interests out of work as well. Third, be patient. Don't make rash decisions. Stay on your path until you can see more clearly and evaluate your options. And fourth, don't quit. Don't let naysayers discourage you. Believe in yourself, but don't be afraid to make some adaptations along the way. I'd like to finish up this afternoon with a poem that my freshman chemistry professor handed out to the class on the first day of chemistry class at NYU. The poem is Don't Quit, and the author remains unknown. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. And many a failure turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering man. Often the struggler is given up when he might have captured the victor's cup. And he learned too late, when the night slipped down, how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you mustn't quit. And little did I realize at that time just how valuable the message of that poem would prove to be. So graduates, hang in there. Be proud of yourselves and your accomplishments. Keep positive as you struggle through this adversity. Work hard and work honestly. Stand up for what you believe in, but treat others with respect even when you disagree. I wish all of you much success and happiness in all that you do. God bless you.
Please welcome New York University Tandon School of Engineering, Dean Jelena Kovacevic.
Good afternoon, everyone, or morning, or evening, or whatever time of day it is where you are. It is hard not to start by addressing the current times and challenges we are all facing. I guess it is obvious by the medium we are using today. This is the first time in our 165-year history that we have not come together in person to celebrate your achievements. We will, I promise, as soon as it is practical and safe to do so. We are celebrating your achievements nonetheless. We are here today to mark the end of one journey and beginning of another, to thank those who have supported you throughout it and will be there for you going forward, and to step back and think for a second about something that is bigger than any one of us, a sense of responsibility to something outside ourselves and to those less fortunate than us. Look around yourselves and affect change in your environment. Be the champions of science and facts, and use your hard-earned knowledge and skills to impact our society for the better. Build a community you can be proud of and hold each other responsible for it. Treat each other with respect, regardless of where you come from, the color of your skin, your gender, or sexual orientation. Recognize that we don't live in a vacuum. None of you made it to today by yourself. Look around you, in person or virtually. You are sharing this moment with your loved ones who listened when you were overwhelmed, who babied you when you needed it, who maybe begrudgingly had to agree with you when you said professors are out to get you. You are sharing this moment with your friends who helped you keep your sanity throughout homeworks, exams, projects, deadlines, late nights, chocolate cravings, meltdowns, and every other college student problem you might have encountered. You are sharing this moment with us, your teachers and staff, who helped you learn something new, expand your minds, And most importantly, challenge yourselves. You're sharing this moment with people who will be there, no matter how many more you meet later for the rest of your lives. Put yourself in an uncomfortable position and learn something new. This is when true growth occurs. If ever there was an uncomfortable position, it is now. Everything in your world has been turned upside down. The last few weeks of your last semester have seen most of you leave the campus, be away from your friends and your support system, be thrown into social isolation we as humans are not built for. You're not able to travel, socialize, or do many of the things that you love and that keep you going. I know it's been hard, but believe me when I tell you, you will look back on this period and draw strength from it. And give back to your family and friends, but also to your larger community. Get involved at work, in grad school, if that is where you end up, in local schools, or anywhere else your heart leads you, and where you can make an impact. Use your work to make a difference. You are the lucky ones. You worked hard and will be able to do what you love and will have choices. Strive to leave a mark on someone or something bigger than yourself. Even if it's helping one child, it will do. Tandem class of 2020, you are a special class graduating in unprecedented times. Go out there and make us proud. Go be inspired and inspire someone else. Be involved citizens of the world and help others get involved. Be passionate and now go share that passion. Congratulations.
Please welcome NYU Tandon Class of 2020 valedictorian, Maxwell Rosen.
Thank you, Dean Yelena Kovacevic, for allowing me to speak at our online graduation ceremony. I would also like to thank all of my teachers and mentors, especially Professors Porphyry, Folan, and Becker. A shout out to all my friends, classmates, roommates, lab partners, and research colleagues. I have a fantastic group of best friends and family who have been so supportive of me through my undergraduate years, and I couldn't have done it without you. I regret not being able to look at the faces of all my friends and speak to you one last time. But congratulations, NYU Class of 2020, we made it. Many of you know me, but for those of you who don't, my name is Maxwell Rosen. I've studied applied physics here, and I also did research in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Right now, I'm studying plasma physics and nuclear fusion reactors because I believe it is our responsibility as the designers of the future to make the world a better place. My philosophy is that the purpose of an engineer is to sustain the human race and improve the quality of life for others. I see nuclear fusion as one way to create a sustainable future through clean energy. This is not the only way to achieve these ideals, and others in our class are improving healthcare, cybersecurity, robotics, digital communications, and fields too numerous to mention. At NYU Tandon, we've had fantastic opportunities to investigate these topics and develop our passions. We've studied with incredible professors, and I would like to highlight some of my favorite quotes of theirs. Do it right the first time. Professor Porphyry, very inspirational. I'd say it isn't rocket science, but it really is. Professor McGlynn, teaching rocket science. And there's no greater joy in life than computing a good integral. Professor Rothman. I don't totally agree with that, but I get his point. Reflecting on my time at NYU, it has been a transformative experience. From growing up in St. Petersburg, Florida, living in New York City was a massive shift. I've lost friends, I've made friends, I lived in 6 different apartments, and I gained a strong sense of independence because of it. These years have changed me into a knowledgeable learner, ready to apply my teachings. In the fall, I will enroll at UW-Madison for a PhD in nuclear engineering and engineering physics to continue studying nuclear fusion reactors and hopefully help to create a viable pathway to fusion. I hope that you will also aim to improve the lives of others with your unique skills that you've acquired here at NYU. If there is one thing I want you to take away from my speech, it's that engineering is about helping people through technology. It's easy to lose track of this goal through technical coursework, but remember that we should always be helping others. Once again, congratulations, classmates. We made it.
Now introducing the 2020 recipients of NYU Tandon Doctoral Degrees. This concludes the Class of 2020 virtual celebration for the NYU Tandon School of Engineering. Congratulations, Class of 2020. Please make your vision a reality in your future.